Baby, welcome back to another video. Would Conor McGregor versus GSP be the biggest fight in history? Oh, snip snap, I just read that Conor McGregor says he wants to fight Georges St-Pierre at 165. I don't know if that's possible because the way Georges St-Pierre looked when he fought against Michael Bisping, he looked hella ripped. He ain't gonna come to 165. Today's video is brought to you in part by Blood, Sweat, and Tears MMA. Train Blood, Sweat, and Tears. Real MMA. So why do I think this would be one of the biggest fights, or probably the biggest fight in combat sport history? Well, for one, GSP is a legend of the sport of MMA. And we seen what he did when he came back after 4 years. It beat Michael Bisping for his title. Like I said before, who's bigger than Georges St-Pierre that he can fight? Because I'm telling you like it is, man. This would be a great fight for both competitors. You know, GSP, I guarantee you, would try to take Conor McGregor down at will. He's not going to stand and bang with Conor McGregor. But would Conor McGregor's punches hurt Georges St-Pierre like he's hurt every other fighter? Because Georges St-Pierre is a much bigger man. He walks around like 280, 290, even maybe 200 pounds. And Conor would be giving up a significant amount of weight, size, and advantage. And we know when GSP gets hit, and hit a lot, he definitely shows a lot of damage on his face. But if Georges St-Pierre was stupid enough, he would stand and bang with Conor McGregor and give Conor McGregor a hell of a chance of winning. That's my personal opinion. Would it be the biggest fight in combat sport history? I don't really know. So, why it would be a great fight overall? It would be the biggest payday for Georges St-Pierre, the biggest payday for Conor. And you know they can market it Canada versus Ireland. You know, the French-Canadian versus the Irishman. And where would they do it? You could do it in mutual grounds of Las Vegas. You know, if you did it in Canada, you could do it in a 50,000 seat arena, which they've done before. Or they could do it over in Dublin in a actual football stadium, you know, a soccer stadium. And this would be a beast of a fight. They'd have to stack the card. But I'm telling you, would this be the biggest fight in combat sport history? That's the difference. I don't know if it'd be as big as Mayweather McGregor, because coming out very, very aggressive, very violent, just coming out throwing kicks, knees, elbows, punches. Because if you don't, you're gonna get beat down by Georges St-Pierre, because Georges St-Pierre has the best wrestling that's ever been done in MMA. And if you're going to try to stand and bang with him, he's not going to stand and bang with you. And Georges St-Pierre has the best jab in the business. Mr. McGregor would just be taken down at will. But I don't know how this fight would happen, because I know Luke Thomas had brought this topic up saying, would this be the biggest fight in combat sport history? I don't know, because I think more people know who Floyd Mayweather is than they know who Georges St-Pierre is. Conor is the biggest draw right now. combat sports is one reason why the Mayweather fight was as big as it was, because Conor McGregor is a showman. You usually don't want to piss off Georges St-Pierre. Georges St-Pierre doesn't come in emotionally. He doesn't come in where he's trash talking, because he really doesn't trash talk, and the only guy to really trash talk him was BJ Penn. And we've seen what happened in BJ Penn versus GSP 2. They literally had to throw in the towel because BJ Penn was getting beat down so bad. He was bloody and beaten, and that was when BJ was the champion at 155, okay? It was champion versus champion, and Georges St-Pierre annihilated him, beat him down, made him look like garbage. When Georges St-Pierre fought Matt Serra the second time, what did he do? He messed him up on the ground. So when Georges St-Pierre wants to actually knock somebody out, beat somebody up, hurt somebody, and not just wrestle them to the ground, he can really injure somebody and really dominate people, because, like I said, he really beat down Matt Serra and really beat down BJ Penn. And I could say this fight would happen at probably 170. It probably will be a fight that eventually happens if Georges St-Pierre comes back, does compete again. I know Conor would take the fight like that because it's a big money fight. He could trash talk, and if he wins, he could say he fought two of the baddest dudes on the planet. He fought Mayweather, an undefeated fighter. He fought Georges St-Pierre, an undefeated fighter for the last 10 years, basically. I don't think he's lost a fight since like 2000, maybe 2009, 2010, Georges St-Pierre. And Georges St-Pierre, in his last 6-7 fights that he was a champion, he went all 25 minutes just dominating from start to finish. He dominated everybody from Nick Diaz, BJ Penn, Matt Hughes, Dan Hardy, Carlos Condit. He just dominates these people and makes them look not world-class fighters. I don't believe Conor McGregor in this fight would have a chance. I really don't. Unless somehow he could crack him early in the fight, and just by like head kicking him or doing some weird crazy thing. There's no way he's winning on the ground, that's for sure. There ain't no way he's knocking him out, I don't believe. Unless he could do some weird like head kick knockout or something. But Georges St-Pierre coming in at like 195, Conor coming in at 170, he's going to have like a 45, 50-pound advantage on Conor McGregor, and there's no way I see Conor winning this fight. It'll just be a big payday, and will they do a rematch? Yeah, they'll probably be like, yeah, we'll rematch it, and Conor will come back and rematch and lose again, because there's no way this fight would happen. In my mind, the reason why I say this fight will happen is because it'll be the biggest payday in the UFC history, right? The reasoning why I say it will not happen is they don't want their golden boy to get significantly outclassed, significantly whooped. Because in this fight, Conor would get his ass whooped. No questions. He would just get dominated from bell to bell, because GSP could dominate people. He dominated Michael Bisping, which Michael Bisping is a 205-pound fighter when he comes into the cage. He weighs about 205 pounds. And Georges St-Pierre is about 190. And Georges St-Pierre looked way significantly bigger than Michael Bisping. The bottom line is, if this fight does go down, the fight does happen, I'm taking GSP just because he has more cardio. He will just dominate him. I don't see any place where Conor's better. I think GSP has a hell of a jab. His jab is great. His boxing's great. His wrestling's great. His cardio's great. But I just see it being a big fight for the UFC. The biggest pay-per-view fight in the UFC's history. Yeah, I think the biggest fight right now in UFC history is Nate Diaz Conor. So GSP Conor will be a hell of a fight as well. But my name is Trevor. Thanks for watching another Trevor's MMA.